Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, Midnight Range TM. Today we're going to be doing a dessert for Thanksgiving. It is a pumpkin 5-spice cheesecake with gingersnap crust. So we'll be making it in the mixer with the paddle. I always use Philadelphia cream cheese. I love Philly cream cheese. Don't skimp on the cream cheese. Do use the good stuff. So what we're going to do is I'll have the recipe in the descriptions, okay? So, cream cheese and sugar. You're going to want to paddle it. You want to cream it. This is called a creaming method. And you want to cream it until basically all the graininess is out of the sugar. Okay. And you want to scrape down the sides of the bowls with a rubber spatula pretty often, at least a couple of times during the process. And then you'll see it done throughout until the batter is completely done. It does tend to stick in underneath in the very, very center and the bottom of the bowl and some of the sides where the paddle just doesn't quite touch. So you'll get pockets of, unmixed batter. So you want to avoid that. The pan we're going to be using for this too is a little bit shallow, a little different than a normal pan would be. You could do it in a large, deep spring form too, which is traditionally what you'd use. I like to use a shallower pan, almost like a cookie sheet, and then you can just cut squares out of it, which is kind of nice for events too, or family gatherings when people don't want huge pieces. Maybe multiple people bring desserts, and you can just cut small pieces, small chunks. You can almost make it finger food, which is kind of fun. Here we're going to add the cornstarch, the Chinese 5-spice or Asian 5-spice, and just a pinch of kosher salt. The 5-spice you'll find in your grocery store, usually has it. And you'll see sometimes it'll be labeled like what's in it and sometimes not. But generally you'll see cinnamon, ginger, anise, star anise, and clove as 5 of the major spices, if not all of the spices that are involved. Next is the molasses, the lemon juice, the lemon zest, and the extract the vanilla extract. And that's going to get paddled in too. Again, every once in a while, give it a stop, lift the paddle up, and scrape down the sides. Always a good practice to get into when you're doing something like this. Also, too, some people would want to use the whip or the whisk attachment. You don't want to do that. You want the paddle. That was the pumpkin puree. The next thing is with any cheesecake is the eggs. You want to go very, very slowly, 1 egg at a time. Let it incorporate, and then do the next one. If you go too fast, it can actually curdle, and you'll get this weird, grainy, scrambly egg kind of curds inside the batter. And that's no bueno. Next thing is the heavy cream and the milk. 40% heavy cream if you can get it, and whole milk. You can use whatever heavy cream. If you can only find 36% or something like that, that's fine. But you want to use the fattier stuff if you can. And again, whole milk. We're going to scrape down the sides one more time. Make sure you get around and under the paddle. The next thing, we're going to go into the pan after this rests a little bit. What I like to do is mix it, let it sit for about 15 or 20 minutes, let the air bubbles pop up, and then pour it into the pan. The ginger snaps go down dry. There's no butter or anything in them. And then the batter is slowly poured over the top. Shake it around, get the air bubbles out. And then we're going to add some of these little bad boys. It's pumpkin spice white chocolate chips. Just kind of sprinkle them around. They'll sink down in. And when you cut it, you'll get these pockets of like pumpkin pie flavor, which is really neat. You can see when you cut into it and cut a slice of it that there's these bright orange pockets inside. We're going to bake this at 350 for about 35 minutes. And when it comes out, it'll be done when the toothpick from the middle comes out clean. It will crack a little bit. It could crack a little bit, and it will puff up a little bit. But when you put it in your refrigerator afterwards to cool it, or let it cool to room temperature, then go into the fridge, and it will fall back down and become kind of dense again. There you go, nice and clean. The sides look a little darker on camera than they actually are. The camera picked up a little bit of showed it a little darker than it really was. It's kind of odd, but when you go to slice this, you want to use a hot knife or a hot water, really hot water, with a nice thin knife, and it'll cut really good. This has been cooled for I don't know, about 4 or 5 hours at this point. So again, I'm doing this one-handed because I didn't have my tripod, so it gets a little bit wonky here. It wants to turn on me, but you want to go get the sides, and then you can just pop them right out with a spatula. It actually works really good once it's cool because it gets nice and dense. And then serve it however you want. There's the sides. You can see the little chocolate chips in there. It really turned out nice. It's sweet, and it's got a nice pumpkin flavor without being like super crazy pumpkin, which some people don't like. We served it here with a butterscotch. You can look back and find a recipe for that if you want. A little chocolate ganache, some whipped cream, and some more of the pumpkin chips. There you go. Thanks for visiting the channel. Midnight Range TM. Happy Thanksgiving, and I hope you have a very safe holiday. Thanks, guys.